This is the Manny Matsakis Show with me, Manny Matsakis, where you will gain insight on how to win on the field and optimize your life. This is episode number 10. In this interview that I did at the American Football Coaches Association convention in Nashville, I speak with Bill Bedenbaugh. Bill is the co-offensive coordinator and offensive line coach for the Oklahoma Sooners. Coach Bedenbaugh has established himself as one of the nation's top developers of offensive linemen. You can basically understand that if you've just been following the Oklahoma Sooners. His units have been behind some of the most prolific offensive production in NCAA history. Bill and I worked together at Texas Tech. He was a graduate assistant of ours on the first staff with Mike Leach and has worked his way up in this profession in a remarkable way. I just want to let you know that I really appreciate Coach Bedenbaugh's humble nature, the way he has worked his way up from the small college ranks and has a true respect of what's being done at those levels. And he's a great mentor to anybody out there that just wants to keep getting better when it comes to offensive line and leadership in general. Please enjoy this episode because I surely did enjoy getting caught up with Bill. All right. Welcome, Bill. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you again. Been a long time.
It has. It has. You know, it's sort of funny in the intro. We were, I was giving them all the accolades, all the things you've done since we were first together.
Yeah.
In Lubbock.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was, I can just remember first meeting you there.
Yeah.
And you came in as our grad assistant.
Yeah.
And you, what I think is interesting, and one place I want to go with this podcast is you have tremendous small college experience.
Yeah.
And you're coaching at the highest level. And obviously we'll get into, you're, maybe arguably one of the finest technicians in the country at the position. And, but, you had really good small college experience.
Yep.
I mean, you played at Iowa Wesleyan,
Yeah.
right? Who was your O-line coach?
Oh, well, I had 4 or 5. Mike Leach. Leach was the first one. And then
That's all you got to say.
Yeah. And it really helped me in the profession because I had 4 O-line coaches and I had 4 head coaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
wow.
Guys kind of moved around and, did different things. So I got to know a lot of people. And it was a great experience for me. I wouldn't trade it. It made me what I am.
Yeah.
To this day.
There's no doubt. And I just always thought that when we first met, flashing back and forth on this, it was like you're so humble about things, but you were grounded in what you knew that you were doing.
Yeah.
And what I also thought was interesting is obviously Mike brought you in, and but it was like here you weren't just an air raid guy.
Yeah.
No,
and I had where I came from Ferris State.
That's right.
A D2 school. And
Power.
Yeah.
D2 Power.
Yeah. No, it was a great school, and we ran the ball much more than we did at Tech, and more than Leach does. So, and then I was at Central Michigan. I was a GA for Mike Cummings, who I think is one of the the best O-line coaches in the country, and. We did a bunch of different things there, and we ran option and, obviously power counter, ran a bunch of different things and drop back play action. So I was exposed to a lot of different things. And then, obviously, with Leach, you know what you're going to do. You're going to drop back and you're going to throw it 50, 60 times a game, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
But you did it as a player. You got it. You totally got it. And then you were at Valdosta, right?
Yeah.
Which is an interesting deal in and of itself,
Yeah, great place there. I started at Panhandle State.
Okay.
In Goodwell, Oklahoma, out in the Panhandle there. That was my first job. Lived in the dorm, got like $300 a month. You know what I mean? And
Sweet.
That's how it is. But I'll tell you, it helps you become a better coach. It really does. I wasn't really ready for it, quite honestly. But I coached the O-line. Me and another guy did, and then some things happened. And then by the end of the season, I was doing it by myself. But heck, there you cut grass, you do the fields, you do laundry, you mop the weight room floors, you drive the van.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You do everything. And I just thought that's how it was. What I mean? You just don't know any different. But, I think it makes you a better coach.
Oh, without question. And then, so you're at Valdosta. You guys had a hell of a run.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah, I was there 1 year.
Yeah.
We should have won the national championship that year.
Right.
We got beat by Carson Newman. It was a torrential downpour, and you know, we threw the ball all the time. And I think they beat us like 24-17. We just, you know, threw an interception on one. But anyway, I mean, we should have won. I thought
still haunts you.
It does to this day. You know what I mean? I mean, I thought we should have won the whole thing. I thought we had the best team, but and they were good. You know what I mean? Carson Newman was a really good team.
Option team.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. And you know, just the game fit to what the weather fit what they were doing.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
So Hal moves on, and Mike, and they go to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So you're left a little bit in the lurch there.
Yeah.
Right.
I went with I was actually just working in recruiting.
Yes.
I was off the field, and I didn't really want to do that. So I was only there for, I want to say, 3 or 4 months before I went to Central Michigan. So
gotcha.
They just didn't have an on-field position. You know what I mean? They had everything filled. So and it was good. I thought it was pretty good. I worked in the recruiting with Claude Bassett, and you know, got to learn a lot about that, how to recruit at that level. So it was a good experience. Just wasn't what I wanted to do, though.
No. I can see that. You're a ball coach. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Coach the big guys
No
up
doubt.
front. You know. So when you came to Lubbock, and you and Robert and I ran the offensive line together, and you know, Robert, good dude,
great dude,
fantastic
great coach.
coach.
Yeah, his son's actually coaching at Texas A&M Commerce.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now he had been, he'd been in the system, at least a passing system at BYU.
Yep.
He was on the national championship team at BYU, you know, as an O lineman, and so you guys, but he hadn't been in the air raid.
Yeah,
per se.
Yeah,
I mean,
right. Coaching it, no.
Yeah,
played in that BYU deal, but that was it.
Yeah. Now, how did you guys get along and coach together and all that? Because there was a lot of, I mean, myself being there with you guys, I saw you guys team coaching that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like I'm the GA, he's the guy. It was like you guys were just splitting them up doing it. How'd that work?
No, Robert was awesome. I mean, he's a great guy, great coach. I mean, he gave me a lot of responsibility. He let me run meetings at times.
Oh, yeah.
Which you generally don't do as a GA, you know what I mean? So I'm really, really appreciative of what he did for me. And that's what I try to do with my guys, or GAs for me, is get them prepared. I think as a coach, that's what you're trying to do, you know, is get these guys prepared. The best, not just your players, but the guys at GA, you get them prepared to go on and be coaches and, you know, coach at a high level. You know, I think that's your job, you know, and I was fortunate. I was GA for Mike Cummings, and I was a GA for Robert and I, two of the best guys out there, you know what I mean? And it really shaped me and, you know, what I do, and I was very, very fortunate to be with those guys.
Yeah, and Robert now's the offensive coordinator at Virginia. Yeah, doing a great job there.
Yeah,
shoot, he's
big time. Played in the championship game. Yeah. No, I owe him a lot.
Yeah, and you can see that this profession is sort of interesting where you don't realize as a young coaches working their way up the profession, just the influence that guys that you work with on either side of the ball, really. It's like how you can impress those guys, and then next thing you know, you're landing the next job, or at least have an opportunity for more jobs. Yeah. Right?
No doubt. Well, I was fortunate. I mean, you know, off our first staff, I mean, you look at it, it's pretty amazing how many. I think there was 6. I mean, obviously I think there were 6 guys that went on to be head coaches at the Division I level.
Sure.
I mean, me and Dave Aranda were GAs together. I mean, Dave Aranda is one of the best DCs in the country, you know, at LSU, you know. So we shared. So, that was and that's what I tell young guys, you know, and it's hard to know that. I didn't know that getting into going to Texas Tech. I was going to go there no matter who was there, but it really helped me because all those guys went on to be head coaches. So I tell my guys, you know, if you get an opportunity, go be on a staff with somebody where you think guys are going to move on to be head coaches.
Yeah. Oh, no question. And now, after that, where did you go after Lubbock?
I went to Arizona with Sonny. Yeah. Mike Stoops was the head coach. Went to Arizona for what I think 4 years. Then I went
so Sonny was the OC.
Yeah,
Sonny
was the Sonny was the OC, and Mike Stoops was the head coach, which was great for me. It's obviously why I'm at Oklahoma, you know. And then went to West Virginia with Dana for 2 years, and then this will be my, I think, 8th season. It's my 8th season at OU.
Yeah. No. And you're with some great guys on that staff. Some of those guys were with us in Lubbock. Yeah. You know. And,
a lot of them were.
Yeah. I mean, you look at everything from Lincoln Riley, you know, their head coach, you're sitting there, and then Dennis Simmons, Ruffin McNeil. I mean.
Yeah, Benny Wiley, our
my gosh,
coach.
yeah.
Cesar Martinez was a player. Yeah. Brian Kagan's who I coached at Tech as assistant strength coach.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like y'all
crazy.
just moving together and having fun and doing it.
No, and Lincoln's awesome, man. I mean, he's as good as it gets and very fortunate. And Norman's a great place to live. I mean, it's a great place to raise a family. And I love Oklahoma, living there. You know, I mean, it's close to Dallas, so you're 2.5 hours from Texas, or 2 hours from Texas, but about 2.5, 3 hours from Dallas. So, and Oklahoma City's 15 minutes north of us. So it's a great place to raise a family.
Yeah, no, and you guys have had tremendous success. I mean, you're winning and playing for championships every year.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, you have to there.
Yeah, I know. I know.
You don't have much of a choice.
Yeah, absolutely. What was it like working for, when you first got there, Coach Stoops was there?
Yeah, awesome.
Bob.
I mean, he's – and not – I mean, obviously everybody knows his record, and that speaks for itself.
Geez.
You know what I mean?
Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah, no doubt. But he's one of the best dudes in the world. I mean, he really is. The whole Stoops family is unbelievable. You know, I know I've gotten to know all of them. Obviously, Mark and I work together. I work for Mike, work for Bob, know the brother Ron, know the sister.
Sure.
You know, the mom is awesome. You know, the whole family. It's a great family. And Coach Stoops is awesome. I mean, he let you coach, he let you recruit, never questioned you. Now, you were responsible. You know what I mean? And if your players weren't playing well, he held you accountable. If you weren't recruiting the right way, he held you accountable. But he let you do your job and never looked over your shoulder. I mean, I'll never forget, we signed a 2-star offensive lineman, you know what I mean, who I really, really liked, you know, and he didn't care. He's like, you like him? Yeah, I like him. And he could end up being a good player for us. You know? And a lot of big-time places, man, you can't sign a 2-star guy. You know what I mean?
Isn't that crazy?
No matter if he's good or not. You know what I mean? And the kid ended up starting for us. He's a great kid, Jonathan. I'll never forget it, you know. And he came to 2 of our camps in Norman. We did a traveling camp in Dallas and just really liked the kid, you know. But that tells you about Coach Stoops. I mean, he trusts you. You know what I mean? I don't know. I hadn't worked for a lot of different people, but I don't know that there's a lot of guys out there that would trust that, you know, being in a high-profile program like that.
Because y'all, like, anymore, it just seems like, you know, they rate programs on their stars, their recruiting classes.
No doubt.
It's like, but that's not always the guys that win either.
Yeah.
You know, you got to develop those guys.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Exactly. And you got to get tough dudes, you know what I mean, that love playing football. You know, a lot of guys get over-recruited and never pan out.
Well, and that leads me to the next question I've got, which is always insightful to me to hear guys at different positions. You know, when you're looking at those high school or, you know, back in, you know, different junior college, whatever, players that you're looking at to play the offensive line position. Because out there, what I feel, you know, and you can agree or disagree, is there is no more important position on the team than the offensive line.
No, I totally agree.
Right? Well, and it's not just because you coach it, because I've seen defensive coaches tell me, like, hey, we have a great O-line, I've got a better defense. Yeah. You know, no matter what, you can control the game, you can do anything you want, we have great O-lines. And you've coached some fantastic O-lines. I mean, your group won the Joe Moore Award.
Yeah. I mean, 2 years ago. Yeah. I've been fortunate. You know, it starts with players. I mean, obviously, you got to coach them, but you got to get the right.
But what do you look for?
Well, obviously size. You know, you got to have the size. I mean, you can't play at this level, you know, being 5'11", 200 pounds. I mean, that's just not a reality, you know. So, obviously the size. And I'm not, you know, the guy didn't have to be 6'7" for me. Okay. Now, I mean, do we have guys like that? Yeah. But, you know, but obviously you got to have the size. And then, to me, the biggest thing, the best that you can do is you got to be smart, you got to be athletic, and you got to be tough. You know, those are the 3 things that – if you have those 3 qualities and truly have them, then it's my job to coach you. You know what I mean? If you're a smart dude, an athletic dude, and a tough dude, then you got a chance to be a good O-lineman.
No doubt. And when you get that guy, and how do you know, you know, at your level, you're given scholarships, you know, at the small colleges, your financial aid packages and all that. So it's all different. But in the end, you're still evaluating for those desirable traits. Right. How do you find out that, hey, this guy's high in those areas?
It's not easy. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, you got to talk to him a lot. You know, you can think, and obviously you got to trust the coach. You know what I mean? You know, how recruiting is, especially at our level right now, is you offer guys so early. You have to. You know what I mean? Just to get in the game. So it's tough to find that out and know 100% for sure. So you just got to trust the coaches. You know what I mean? You got to go talk to people at the school, the teachers, the principals, counsel, whatever, and try to do the best you can. And it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy. I mean, just because, again, you got to offer these kids so early to get in the game.
How early are you offering nowadays?
We offer sophomores.
Jeez.
You know, yeah, and it's tough. Well, you have to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it's just now. I won't offer a kid unless I want him to commit. You know, we don't do that whole I don't even know what that. If you can't commit, it's not an offer.
No,
you know what I mean.
That's
so,
a good point. Yeah.
So again, we may be a little bit slower just because I don't play that game. You know what I mean. But I've offered freshmen. You know what I mean? Now, I don't, necessarily am I right? No, but I mean, who knows? You don't know, but
you don't.
You see a guy at that age and you think, okay, this is what he's going to be. You know what I mean? And you offer him.
Okay. So now you get, let's say you brought in that, he's got all the characteristics. He comes in the door, and then you've got a whole group of, how many offensive linemen you have on your roster? Right
scholarship walk-on, 18.
18
okay,
so
to 20.
18, 20 kids you're working with, and they're all at different levels. You know, their skill level, depending on their ability to bend their knees and so forth. But, what is it you do when you first get them? I mean, they're raw.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all raw. I mean, I've never, and maybe you have, I've never seen an offensive line come in ready to play the first day.
No.
I've seen running backs.
Yeah.
Other positions.
You may have to play them. We've had to start freshmen, but they weren't ready.
No.
I mean, I don't know many. There may be 3 to 4 guys like that at our level in the country. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean they're not playing. Even if they're playing, they still may not be ready.
Yeah.
You may be forced to play, and we had to a couple of years ago.
So what do you do? What is your thought process from a drills and skills fundamental process in your particular system?
Yeah.
At Oklahoma. What do you do with those guys?
It's more mental than anything in the beginning, teaching them. I test them. I give them – we expect our guys to know everything, formations, fronts, coverages, all those things. So I start out, I give them a test, on formations to see what they know, what they've studied, and where they're at, and then I have them draw on the board for us. Hey, I'll say this formation, this front, this coverage, draw this play up there, draw everything up, and and it's all mental at the beginning, and then we just go to the basic technique stuff because just teaching them how to move a certain way. You know what I mean? If I'm going to the left, driving off my right foot. If I'm going to the right, driving off my left foot. Just those drills, the basic drills that teach those movements. Okay. Because to me, that's the most important thing is understanding how to move.
Your footwork is key.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. That's what gets you in position to make a block.
Oh, yeah. Leverage, footwork. Yeah. And how do you get a guy, he's got the I've always been intrigued by this. You get a guy, he's got the measurables and all this stuff, and how do you get him, can you develop physical offensive linemen? What do you do to do that?
I think you can. I think it starts with the culture, really. I'll tell you what. I was fortunate; it was good when I came in there. But when Orlando Brown came, was it my third year? I think either my second or third year. You know what I mean? He changed the culture. I mean, I think you coach it. I think you drill it. I think you instill that toughness and all those things. But I think until you get a guy that truly embodies it on your O-line, it's hard. You know what I mean? Because they may not know what it feels like and what it looks like, and then you get a guy like that and you could say, hey, this is what it looks like.
A model. I mean, that's what it looks like. It's funny you say that because, I can think back, years ago I was coaching the offense at Hofstra out in Long Island. And, I kept thinking, man, I got to teach these guys how to sell out, how to give up their bodies, how to do, how to be a complete receiver, and we just didn't have anybody doing it. Yeah. And then one kid, I don't know if you remember Wayne Corbett, was an all-pro receiver for the Jets. Yeah. And it's then he just started doing it. Yeah. And then there was popcorn. This guy was doing it. This guy was because they had a model of what it was supposed to look like.
They know what it looks like.
Yeah.
No doubt.
So you've got some great models there, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And then it just trickles down. Yeah. You know what I mean? And these kids all want to be praised. I don't praise them a lot, you know what I mean? But when 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 they're tough, that's when I praise them. When they play tough and they play physical, you know what I mean? And then you start saying, hey, man, that's really good. And then these guys all want to get praised. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It's what we live in, But so then they start doing it, and they see what it looks like to be a tough dude and how to finish blocks and how to play the right way. You know? But I think they got to see it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, you can tell them and you can say this is what it is and this is how you coach it and all those things. But until they see it and they have somebody that they can say this is what it looks like, it's tough.
Do you have I mean, obviously you've been there long enough, and you've got generally every year you've got upperclassmen leaders.
Yeah.
I mean, so you have those guys. Do you have a way where they can help develop the young guys and through that? How do you do that?
I don't. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I don't coach that much. I let the guys be leaders. I let the guys know who I think should be leaders.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then they just do it. I think it's been, it's trickled down. I said, I think it started with Orlando. You know what I mean? And then just kind of trickled down, and then the younger guys see it. You know what I mean? And then they expect it. You know what I mean? And the good thing is, you hear the kids when you got them. I don't know if "got them's" the right word, but they say, "Hey, man, that's not how we play here." You know what I mean? That's not what we do.
There's a buy-in.
Here.
Like, this is how we
culture. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you just, I never really coach that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just, they just do it.
Yeah.
And they understand the standard.
That's right. There's a standard you've helped set initially. Yeah. They've got to maintain it, and the guys work together.
Yeah.
What's interesting is have been around some area guys. Hal and Mike and a bunch of Dana. And there's different variations of it out there. I think you guys do. Arguably, in my estimation, the best job of balancing out the run and the pass. You're able to. It's almost like a power spread concept.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and we adapt. This year we had Jalen Hurts who, rushed for – now, Kyler last year rushed for over 1,000 yards too, but in a different way.
Okay.
Jalen, rushed for about 1,300 yards, but we truly ran him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Design.
Yes. More design runs than we had in the past. We've always had them, but we called them more with him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's not what we did in Lubbock. I mean,
no. Hell no.
Cliff Kingsbury's there. We didn't have a design run.
Nah. We had maybe a draw.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
So you get that and you've had great running backs. I mean, Samaje Perine, and those you've had great Mixon.
Yeah. And the guys. We've had a lot of good ones. Damian Williams, who's playing for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And he, there's a bunch of dudes. The guys we got now, Kennedy Brooks, and even guys you may not have heard of have been really good,
productive.
Productive. Even if they hadn't gone on to the NFL, which most of our guys do.
Yeah.
But even if they haven't, they've been good backs for us.
Yeah. So you take this, and when you look at the run game, I know. I mean, pass pro, you would assume, with all the experience, and been in those systems, I get the pass pro and so forth, at least conceptually, which we can get to here. But in the run game, what are you looking for as far as just schematic? What are the things you want to be able to do that is based on the running back in the run game, not QB runs, running. Just we're coming at you. What are you trying to do?
What runs? And it obviously it changes week to week, but it's all about the angles that you can get on guys and how you manipulate them and how you try to make runs look the same. I mean, and that's what we try to do the best we can. Always have complementary things. Off of runs, not just passes, but runs that look the same. Obviously we've got our play action off of runs and things like that, but just split flow, inside or outside zone, and then split counter. Just things that you try to the best you can make your backfield action look as close as you can to all the same things. And then you're just pulling different guys or cutting different guys. Whamming, whatever you want to call it. On different guys up front, and giving them different things that they have to look at. And to me, it's just based on the angles that you can get and what your players can do. This year, I mean, we've been a huge counter team. The past 4 or 5 years. This year, we weren't great at it. Now, some of it was people started playing it differently. That's what they're going to try to stop with us, and that's one thing that they're going to really sell out to stop. And we got better at outside zone this year, so we ran a little bit more outside zone. So it changes week to week and it changes year to year.
Yeah. Now, working on the staff, I mean, obviously you're the co-offensive coordinator, you're the offensive line coach, and as you guys work together, we talked about some of the other assistant coaches on that side of the ball, great coaches. And how do you guys, throughout the week, how do you work together on preparing for an opponent? What's the dynamic?
Yeah, well, what we do is, on Sunday we come in there and we watch the previous game, and then we kind of all split up and watch, the next opponent. So we'll do that on our own on Sunday all day to whatever time, and then Monday we get together, and just go over open field stuff.
Okay.
Tuesday morning we get everything basically done, the whole script. So it'd be third and long, third and short, third and medium, red zone, goal line, all that stuff, and then we'll really focus on Tuesday on third downs.
Okay.
And then Wednesday would be red zone, goal line. So those are and obviously open field plays as well. Yeah. So, and then Lincoln and I will, a lot of times watch the third short stuff together and the goal line stuff together, and get those plays. That's kind of the area that I deal with the most.
Sure.
Obviously you deal with the protection stuff in third and medium, third and long, or if he wants a run in third and medium or third and long, then we'll obviously do those things. But short yardage and goal line is where we kind of collaborate the most.
Yes. Now, working, with the staff and and the head coach being an offensive coach involved with you guys on game day.
Yeah.
What are the roles that the different guys have on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, basically what I do, I talk to our GA. You know what I mean? He and I are on the same line. I'm not even on the line with the other guys. You know what I mean? So heck, I don't know what they do, but then Lincoln will. He'll say, "Hey, man, what do you like? What do you not like? Do we need to keep doing?" And we'll talk. He'll flip over and, or what happened on this play or this or that, and then, just adjustments. I'll talk to him. Like TCU, for example. I mean, they hadn't played a 3-man front really the whole year except for third down, and after we score on them, I think 2 drives in a row, they go to a third down. A 3-man front. So we had to totally adjust our game plan, right there and then. And we talked, and hey, and then I get everybody over there, and hey, we need to do this now. And it's stuff that we would run against any 3-man front. We hadn't practiced it much, but
you've done it at some point.
Yeah. It's stuff that we always do against a 3-man front. So, just things like that, and then talking about adjustments.
Yeah. Now, the air raid. Offenses all have their own idiosyncrasies, and what would you say as far as because people are always intrigued by the installation process. I mean, Mike's getting ready to head to Mississippi State.
Yeah.
He's going in, and I think I heard him say something like, "Oh, we'll have it in a week, and in 2 weeks we'll be pretty good at it."
Yeah.
That kind of deal. How does that work?
We do it the same. We do it the same as we always have. It's a 3-day deal. Now, we may go a little bit longer because we do more stuff than we did back in the Texas Tech days.
Okay.
But we still have all of our base stuff in 3 days. That's basically what it is. Our base stuff's in 3 days, and then
against base looks?
No, against
or
everything.
Any looks,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, against everything. Yeah. No, it's just our base plays. Go in 3 days, and it's all installed. And then after that third day, it's maybe just a little bit of adjustments and tags and things like that. Now, it's tough. I mean, it's not easy, but, I like it. You know what I mean? The young guys, it's tougher on.
Yeah. You're putting it all in.
Yeah, you're putting it all in. Yeah. And it's against every front. And our defense does a lot of shifting and moving and blitzing, and, and it helps us. Now, it's tough in the beginning just because they're all over the place. And we were really young this year. We struggled a lot in the spring just because we were young and inexperienced. Our center wasn't practicing. He had surgery, but what it did is I think it helped us because we saw every front and every movement that you could possibly see in 15 practices in the spring.
Gotcha. And it was a new defense you guys brought in with Alex and everything. Right?
Yeah. No, it helped us. Now, we struggled, no doubt, but I think it helped us, as an offensive line, progress maybe a little bit quicker than you would think you would, just playing against a base odd or a base 4-man front.
Mm-hmm. Now, what a lot of guys out there, unless you're coaching at that particular level, the rules have changed over the years of what you can do with them after spring ball. After spring ball up to training camp. What's the demands on the players and coaches during that time?
After spring ball?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of them around all summer.
Yeah, well, they're here all summer, but you can't, like you can have, as a position coach, you can have 2 hours with them.
Yeah.
Now, whatever you do. But what we do, because they're more, Lincoln wants them more involved in the strength program, we get 1 hour a week.
Okay. And what do you do with that hour?
It just depends. Year by year, it's different. This year, I did more walking through than watching tape just because we were so young. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In years past, I would watch more tape, you know what I mean, with experienced guys. Mm-hmm. This group this year, I'll probably do more, watching tape. You know what I mean? Because we are a little bit more experienced.
Yeah, you bring them back in.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how that's working as you go through.
Yeah.
And, how do you feel about the new rules in training camp, giving the guys a day off? And remember, back in the day, it was 2 a days, and way back they could do 3 a days. It was crazy, So, how do you guys?
I don't know. I mean, it's you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, now you can meet. I think you can meet with them on the day off now.
Okay.
You used to not be able to. And I can't. They changed so much. I can't remember, quite honest. But I think we could still meet with them on the day off. But I don't know. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know.
I've heard some coaches struggle with it. Yes, exactly. Well, I mean, and you're trying to get them ready for the most physical game on the planet.
Yeah.
And you're not being physical.
Yeah.
So and a lot of them, they just have so far to go fundamental wise that you hit the season, it's like it's almost like, and I don't know, sometimes I think it's almost like maybe you should play 2 preseason games, like they do in the pros or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's just you're so limited on time, and you got to get guys that are going to put in the time on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah, isn't that
crazy?
Have to.
I mean, because you can't. I mean, you get. They think the players think you're up there a lot, but you're really not for what you have to get done in that short amount of time to play at a high level.
Sure, and I've always thought what's interesting is, and when I see other sports, and a lot of people don't realize, like, in basketball, in their off season, their coaches are there working them in 3-on-3 drills, and they've got the balls out there doing all this stuff. It's like in every other sport in the off season, they can work their fundamental drills and skills way more than football, and football is the most complicated sport there is.
Yeah, especially offensive line.
Yeah,
And like you said, and I do agree with it. It's the most important position, but it's also, and what I agree with, it's the toughest position to play because it's so unnatural. Nothing about playing offensive line is natural. You don't walk around with a wide base. You don't walk around bent knee. You know what I mean?
You don't do that.
That's not how what you do every day. So it's it's an unnatural position where most other positions are pretty natural. I mean, it's what you do.
Yeah.
Except for D line, but I mean,
but it's happening in such a closed space. And I mean, for guys out there, unless you've coached that position or just been right in it, you don't realize the true speed and quickness of those bodies moving in that tackle box.
Yeah, big dudes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And it's fast.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really fast. It's just, like a receiver, you think he's fast because he runs a, 4.4, 4.3. But you compress it in that deal, it's like, baby. And the collisions.
No, it's a different world in there.
Yeah.
Most people don't know. And, and the thing about it, and I don't say this in a demeaning way, but even guys that are really, really high-quality coaches at other positions don't truly understand offensive line. I mean, they really don't. Now, they can draw up how do you block this front, how do you do this, or what should happen in this pass protection, but the nuances and the techniques and the fundamentals, most people don't have any clue.
No,
it
is. And I remember Mike used to always say, Leach would say, it's a constant state of correction.
Yeah. No, exactly.
And it is.
It is.
It is. And there's nothing. It's truly amazing. And I can remember. I don't know if you guys. You may. It might be a Leach thing, but we used to get the guys would work on boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. We don't do it much anymore. And And I think all sports are really I used to really like it. I just think it's boxing, and I don't mind the boxing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think it's good for hands, but I think it is different.
Yeah,
you know
they're
what I mean?
gauging distance.
Yeah,
and
truly.
so forth,
Yeah, and there's some good things with it. Like, I think every sport helps you play football.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean? Just
Sure.
whatever it is, the movements, emotion. Now, is it going to directly translate to being an offensive lineman? Some of it, yes, and some of it, no. You know, but we did. I used to love it, but we don't really do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boxing.
I think in Lubbock we needed it at that point to get guys to compete more because we were always working on getting them to compete every day.
No, and I thought it was really good for us then. You know what I mean? And I do think there's some carryover. You know what I mean? But just the movements of what I teach are different than what you're going to do in a boxing deal.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Do you see any other things like if you are working and I'm sure you get high school coaches asking you, what can I do with my young guys to get them to improve, when they're 15 years old, to get through high school. What would you recommend to these guys? And even if those kids are never going to play for you, it doesn't matter because there's so many opportunities for kids to play college football.
Oh, no doubt.
So, I mean,
no doubt. Yeah, I think you got to constantly work on strength and movement. You know what I mean? Those are the two things to me that are really, really important. And learning the game, really, truly studying and learning the game. Watch things like watch NFL tape, watch other colleges, watch other high schools. Really, and study it. Don't just watch it. Study it. Hey, okay, they're in this formation. They're in this front. We're running this play. Okay, what is the tackle doing? What's the guard doing? What's the center? What do the combination blocks look like? What is this guy, this good player here? I have my guys watch NFL tape,
Okay.
This is what a good player looks like. You know what I mean? This is how whatever combination block that you're doing, this is how you do it. This is what it should look like, and I think just, strength, and movement, and then just learning, truly learning the game.
Now, you alluded to the National Football League, and there's some fantastic offensive line coaches up there, working with those guys. And who are when you watch the NFL film, I mean, who would you look at right now that says, hey, these guys are great O-line coaches, or they consistently create fantastic offensive lines? Who's up there?
You talking? You know what? It's weird because it kind of changes year by year. I like Paul Alexander. I've gotten to know him. I talked to him. Obviously Howard Mudd back in the day. He's not, really coaching right now. I think the guy at the Eagles does a really good job. The guy at the 49ers, then the 49ers are really, really good O-line. That's an O-line that I study now.
Yeah.
I don't even know who the coach is there, quite honestly.
The film is good.
Yeah, but the film is good. You know what I mean? And what they're doing is really good. So, and the Cowboys are obviously, really good offensive line. They got a bunch of, really good players, but it changes. It really does year to year just because guys move around. Like San Francisco, would they win 2 or 3 games last year? Whatever. You know what I mean? And
new coach, couple years.
Yeah. In one year, it looks like a totally different team.
Yeah.
So that stuff just kind of changes year by year.
Now, when you in this profession, and what a lot of times we talk about, we've been talking about how to win on the field. These are the things that matter, but it's also part of it is coaching football can be, the word is the grind. I mean, it's demanding, especially if somebody has a family, and so forth, and your family situation, children, that kind of deal. How do you balance this stuff out?
It's really hard. It is, and it's you got to have a good wife. You know what I mean? I mean that that.
And you do, right?
Yeah, great.
You better say that if she's listening.
Yeah, no, she knows it. I mean, you have to. You know what I mean? Because it's hard. You know what I mean? And as much as you want to try to balance it, I try to balance it in my time off. That's when because it's hard during the season. As much as you want to, it's hard. You know what I mean? I mean, you're preparing to win a game. And obviously when you have young kids, I've got a 9 and a 7, so they're older. You know what I mean? But hell, a lot of times you leave before they're up, and you're home when they're sleeping. You know what I mean? So it's just it's tough. But I try to do it the best I can in the off season, you know, like now.
Like, what do you do? What do you do in the off season? I mean, what do you try to do?
Well, obviously,
so
you know, go to their games.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Go watch them. Go pick them up from school. You know, I was fortunate enough to do that last week because we had a little bit of time off. So, you know, you just go get them at school, and then obviously in the summertime we go take vacations. We go visit family or wherever we go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just, you know, just being there with them.
How about marriage-wise? How do you handle the dynamic? You know, because in this profession, I've talked about this to other coaches on this that are married. It's, you know, it's a profession where there are a lot of divorces.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through that, and it's not easy.
Yeah.
And how do you keep it going, you know? I mean,
well, it's
what do
you got to
do?
be in a good place. Like our place is really good. You know, we have family night every other Tuesday where
Okay.
our families come up, our kids come up, and we all eat together.
Oh, okay.
Our wives can go on every road trip. You know, Lincoln, you know, takes them. You know, if they want to go on any road trip, which the only place I've ever been is here that's done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And most places don't do that.
No.
You know, but so they can go with us. And again, they got to understand. You know, you got to marry some. That's why I got married later in life. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because they got to really understand what the profession is about.
Sure.
You know, and it's tough. It's tough, like you said. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
well,
easy.
and I think she's got a little. People out there might not realize, but she has a family environment to understand the game of football,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
no doubt.
and
yeah.
you know who is she related to that's in the profession?
Well, it's not really.
Well,
Seth.
yeah.
I mean, there's some. You know, let me see. My wife's brother is married to Seth Luttrell's sister.
Yeah,
You
so
know,
that's her brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she knew.
Yeah.
In essence,
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt. And we were together for a few years, and I was at Arizona, and she was still in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, she understood it. You know
Yes.
what I mean? She was around it. You know, and got what it was going to entail.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's important. How you know another thing that I have struggled with at times in this profession is, and I say it all the time, is, you know, some guys can just like work out and train and you know stay in great shape all the time. You see those guys, and then other guys
Like me.
Yeah, the 6-pack ab and the whole bit. You know, so you know what do you do to take care of the stress of the game? You know, because it's
hard, man.
there.
You know, I'm an up and down. You know, it is tough.
It's common.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I get motivated for a couple months. You know what I mean, and you know, go work out and do all that. But what I've come to realize, and I think it's helped me, you know, is obviously you got to win, and you want to win, and nobody is. You know, there's very few people that want to win more than me and are more competitive. You know, and I know there's a lot of people out there, but the thing that you can take comfort in is just knowing that, hey, you did the best job you could. You know what I mean? And you coach them the best that you can. You know what I mean? And whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I mean,
the product is out there
yeah,
on game
I mean,
day.
that's
Go.
Yeah, go play. You know what I mean? And is it stressful? Yeah. Does it suck losing? Yeah. I mean, you know, and we fortunately we don't much, but you know, it's just. You know, just take comfort in knowing that you did the best job you could, you know,
Absolutely.
and that's kind of where I've gotten to, you know, and it's weird. It took me to get to Oklahoma to be like that, a place where you know you got to win. You know what I mean?
The pressure's there without question.
Yeah, but, you know, hell, what are you going to do? You coach them the best you can, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you do that, you can be fine. I'm fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
Now, it sucks if you don't work as hard as you can, or a player,
Yeah.
you know, like players, I tell them the same thing, you know. I mean, go prepare the best that you possibly can.
Yes.
And whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
You know, if you do that, what can you do?
No
You
question.
know,
Yeah, I
just
can
don't have any regrets.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you want to leave it all on the
Yeah.
field, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Bill, I'll tell you what, I really appreciate you coming on this podcast.
Appreciate you.
You know, yeah, and it's been a pleasure to know you over the years and
thank
work
you.
with you. And
You too, man.
you know, it's a good deal. We learn from each other in so many
Yeah.
ways.
No
you know,
doubt.
And you know, so hopefully everybody out there, you understand this is, you know, these are insights you get how to win on the field, optimize your life, and do some things. But after this, I'll be right back and give you our tips and reminders on some things that you can do or choose to do that can help you out in different areas of your life. But thanks again, Coach.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, man.
Now, that was an enjoyable episode for me, and I hope you got a lot out of that as well with Coach Bedenbaugh. Now it's time for some tips and reminders where we wrap up each episode with some information that you can utilize in your approach to optimize your life. As you know by now, one of the things I really enjoy talking about are various doTERRA essential oils. And I'm really just doing this from an education standpoint to show you specifically how these can be utilized to help you feel better and just to create some amazing lifestyle as you are working to become a better football coach. Now, this oil is one that I use every day to kick off my morning, and it is called lemon oil. Okay, lemon essential oil. It's one of certain types of oils that you can actually take internally. And I start every morning with a couple drops in my water just to get my body going. It's alkalizing, it's refreshing to say the least. I enjoy it. It's loaded with vitamin C, and it's an uplifting oil that makes it very easy to overcome fatigue and helps you get focused early in the day. So give it a try, and I'll have some more information on the website regarding that in our essential oils section. So take a look at that as we move on. But I want to thank everybody for joining me on the Manny Matsakis Show. If you're listening to this podcast, make sure to subscribe in iTunes and give us a rating, make a comment on the show. And we love it. We've gotten a lot of great reviews at this point. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel at The Manny Matsakis Show. There's a little bell on the top where you can subscribe, and you'll get a notification if that's what you're into from the YouTube side. Now, the other thing is, when we have a YouTube version of this, feel free to comment below on the specific show, and I'll get back to you. And we'll get some good comments that I can reach back and let you know, because I try to respond quickly. If you'd like to get all kinds of updates, just go to the website at mannymatsakis.com so you'll get up to date. You'll be the first to know when things show up. And every Monday, we do put this podcast out. And then Wednesday, we have another version of the podcast going out recently called Inside Access, and where I just give you a lot of inside information on helping yourself win on the field or optimize your life. And so we work through some things like that. Those are shorter episodes as the secondary one of the week. And then Friday, if there's a video to release like this, then it shows up on the Manny Matsakis Show on Friday. So just subscribe with your email and you'll get everything you need. Along with your regular alerts, you'll receive my latest report, Fill the Stadium, which is only going to be around for a couple more months. And it's basically a coach's secret formula to build a program and fill your stadium to capacity. Thank you very much.